What is up, Insaners, and welcome to our Game Week 14 team selection video of the Fantasy Premier League 2021-22 season. In this one, we'll talk about our team for the upcoming game week, we'll discuss our transfer plans, and we'll end the video with the best captain picks for the week. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well if you like what you see and you're new around here. Now, before we get into our team for Game Week 14, let's quickly look at how we did in Game Week 13. Now guys, a good game week and a decent green arrow this time around. Got a bit lucky with Antonio coming in place of Kane as the Spurs game was called off. Guys, we've risen by about 3k to 15k overall in the world right now. Now coming to our team, it's turning out to be a great season for the defense. Ramsdale, he got a clean sheet against Newcastle. Trent had a great game against Southampton with the assist and a clean sheet. Our other defender, James, he conceded against Manchester United, which is always a possibility for me. Cancelo, on the other hand, he went from 8 points to a single point, guys, in the dying seconds against West Ham, so a bit unlucky there. Coming to midfield, and Salah, guys, he did get an assist. Liverpool played well, and with everyone captaining Salah, another week with no changes from the Salah captaincy. According to our team, Jota was a standout pick with 14 points, scoring 2 goals. I think that transfer was pretty good. On the other hand, Buemo and Gallagher, they both blanked this week, so a bit disappointed there. In our attack, guys, now the move from Vardy to Kane is not looking great at the moment. Vardy hauling was a huge blow. Now Antonio came on for Kane, but he also gave us only 2 points, and I think that was a bit jammy anyways, but that blank was pretty much expected. Coming to our final forward, Tony, guys, he scored a penalty to score 9 points in spite of not doing anything in the game, but we'll take that anyway. A decent score going into Game Week 14, where we need to think through the next set of moves. I think overall the team looks pretty good for the upcoming game week. Guys, how was your Game Week 13? Do let me know in the comments below. Now coming to our team for Game Week 14, we are playing a 4-4-2 this week at the moment with Ramsdale in goal. I'm not very confident in terms of the clean sheet because Manchester United have some decent attacking players, plus Ronaldo would be itching to go after missing out the game against Chelsea. I know Arsenal's defense has been decent, but the clean sheet is tricky this week. To be honest, guys, I'm really hoping that he can get some safe points, so pretty okay with that. Coming to our defenders, and we're playing a back four this game week. Now Trent, he's playing against Everton, who've looked pretty weak in defense, and their attack also is not firing at the moment. Liverpool look like they can keep a clean sheet in this game as well. Now Trent is miles ahead of anyone in terms of expected goal involvements, crosses in the box, and all the other attacking stats for defenders. Guys, he's a great differential captain too if you don't want to go for the plain boring Salah move. Talking about our other defenders, we have James, who's once again the most transferred in player this week. I know his numbers have been too good, he's shooting a lot. Now Lukaku is also coming back, and that could spell more FPL points for Reece James. The only worry with him that he can get an early sub or maybe even rested against Watford, so that's a bit tricky, but I think if you have him, you definitely play him this week. Our third option is Cancelo. Now he's the best City defender to own. Villa have looked pretty confident at the back, but I think City has too much quality and they should win comfortably. Now like James, Cancelo could also get rotated, but hopefully he plays the whole game and gives us some good FPL points. Guys, if you don't have him in your team, I think he's a great transfer to do this week as well. He has the best attacking stats after Trent and James in terms of defenders. Now our fourth defender right now is Semedo. I'm not 100% convinced with the Semedo pick. I know Wolves have looked okay defensively, nothing spectacular, but I think I can do a lot better here. Yes, I know that he kept a clean sheet against an impressive West Ham attack and also against Norwich, but I think it's tempting to go for someone like an Alonso right now, especially with the Chilwell injury. We'll talk about our transfer plans just in a moment, but now coming to our midfield, and we have the first name as Mo Salah, 131 points, highest scoring player by a distance, guys. He's the best player in the league right now. Now he will be up against the Everton defense, which is looking very leaky at the moment. I really think there can be great FPL points in this one for Mo Salah, and he's surely my captain for Game Week 14. Now second pair is a Liverpool double up in Diogo Jota, guys. At the time of recording this video, I'm still not sure about Firmino's return date, and I really think Jota plays even if the Brazilian returns. His attacking stats are even better than Salah's at the moment, and he has the best XG numbers in the league among attackers. Guys, he's looking like a long-term hold with the AFCON also coming soon, and I think if you don't have him in your team right now, he should be a priority transfer. The other midfielder that we have in our team is Conor Gallagher, guys. He's kind of fading away if Milivojevic plays, at least that is what has been happening so far in the season. His chance creation numbers are quite high, especially when he's on set pieces, but if Milivojevic plays, I think that's a bit tricky. We know that he can make those runs in the box, those late runs. We know that he can also score goals. I think he's still a really good option at that price. Now Leeds have Calvin Phillips back in the playing 11, guys, and I think they've tightened at the back as well. So this might not be a very high scoring game for Palace and Leeds, but I think it could still be worth playing Gallagher if you already own him. Now right now, guys, we're playing Billy Gilmour in our playing 11. Now this is a bit controversial, this is a bit tricky. Norwich won't have Norman in their team for this particular game week, and I think Gilmour can play a little bit deep in that case. So I think this could easily move on, and this could become a 4-3-3 instead. I think players like Gallagher, Jota and Salah, they're pretty good, and I don't think so we really have to play Gilmour this particular week. It's just that his matches against Newcastle, who have looked very leaky at the back, who have not looked very convincing in defense, and we know that Eddie Howe likes to play front foot football, he likes to play attacking football, and I think because of that, there's a chance that Norwich can get something out of this game. So playing Gilmour is a call that we'll take closer to the deadline. We can instead have Ivan Toney, who's currently on our bench, in the playing 11 and play a 4-3-3. Now right now, guys, up top, we have Harry Kane, who is playing Brentford. Now Kane and Spurs, they got a full week's rest before the Brentford game due to the postponement of the game against Burnley in Gameweek 13. Now we still haven't seen much from Kane this season, but hopefully, guys, this is the game where he turns his season around and we can get some good FPL points from him. Our second option is Antonio against Brighton, and he might not be the worst player to have for this particular week. I know Brighton have looked solid, so it's not going to be an easy task for the West Ham attackers, but West Ham still is a pretty good team. Mikel Antonio is averaging 2.5 points a week over the last 10 game weeks, guys, from game week 4 to game week 13, and him being the second highest scoring forward, it tells you all you need to know about this year's PL strikers, guys. There are not a lot of options, and that is why having Antonio in your team, in your 11, for this game week and beyond, that could be pretty okay. Now currently on our bench we have Ivan Toney, guys. I just mentioned that I can play him instead of Gilmour, and I think I'm pretty much gonna do that. Now Toney has scored in the last 2 games, so the last game was a very average game with literally 0 XG. I mean, he didn't do anything at all. Now Tottenham could be a tricky one for Brentford. I'm a little worried about benching him, so we'll see, but he still can be a decent option in your 11 this week. Our other bench players include Buemo. I think the patience is running very short with him for a lot of FPL managers. I've seen a lot of FPL managers taking him out this week for some other options. I think that's a pretty much expected move. I still feel he's worth holding on for a couple of weeks, and he's decent bench fodder if you really want to have a complete bench. I know he's been super unlucky, but I think that goes a lot on his finishing. He's not a great finisher. He's hit the pole a lot of times. I think things could have looked very differently if a few of those chances have gone in. Our final bench player is Livramento, guys. He definitely stays as our 5th defender, and he remains on the bench for this week. So this was our playing 11 for Game Week 14, guys. Do let me know what you think about it. Do let me know what kind of players you're going for in the comments below. Now coming to our transfer plans, in isolation the team looks okay, but I think I really want Alonso for the upcoming game weeks. He did play okay against Man United. Now he did come off a bit early. I think we can draw 100 conclusions of the same, but I genuinely think he starts against Watford, and he could even outscore the likes of James if he can start regularly in the coming weeks. Now guys, currently we have 1.7 million in the bank. With the Samero to Alonso move done, guys, we'll be left with 1 million in the bank, which we can use later to make upgrades from Kane to Ronaldo if we want to make that move later on. To be honest, I'm not considering Reguilon at the moment. I know he's probably more nailed than Alonso, but there's a huge difference between the quality of both defenses. Yes, Spurs have the fixtures, but I'm still not 100% convinced with Reguilon. The other transfer move that we can do is getting rid of Buemo and getting another midfielder in place. I'm not sure about Foden, and that's why I got rid of him last week. Now the other player that I have the exact money for is to get Gundogan for Buemo. He got 2 attacking returns against West Ham. Now I know the fixtures for Man City look really good, but I'm not sure what happens to Gundogan when KDB returns, and he might come into play very soon. Now Gundogan's numbers and overall positioning with KDB on the pitch is not that great, and that is why it feels like a short-term move to me in spite of the really good fixtures. Another potential route could be Buemo to ESR, but again it's not a high priority transfer to make. I know Smith Rowe has played well for Arsenal, but this week Arsenal's facing Manchester United, and I think the Alonso move looks a lot better. So these are my 2 transfer moves for this particular week. I think I'm inching towards the Alonso move, but let's see what happens before the deadline. So now talking about the captain picks, guys, the first name and the obvious pick that we have is Mo Salah against Everton. Now it's going to take something really, really big to not captain Salah against Everton. I know it's a derby game, anything can happen. The emotions will be running high, and that might motivate Salah to do even better. I think for the foreseeable future, it's hard to look past Mo Salah. There's not much to say here. The best and the safest captaincy pick as always. Now if you want to go a bit differential, you can go Harry Kane versus Brentford. Now Brentford hasn't looked that strong defensively. After the postponement last week, I expect Spurs to be nice and fresh for the game and raring to go, guys. Also, Conte has spent some time implementing his style with the team, and I'm pretty sure he'll aim to transform this team into a very strong outfit. Another huge thing is that Kane looks instrumental in how Spurs are playing right now, and I think he's a great differential captaincy option this week. Guys, if you don't own Kane and if you don't want to go Salah, you can go Jamie Vardy instead. Now he's the highest scoring striker in the game. He scored 2 goals in the last game week. It could have been more. I think he could have easily scored 3 or 4 goals. He's definitely playing for an attacking team, so definitely expect more goals and chances for Jamie Vardy. He's a decent option if he starts, but that's the tricky part, guys. There's a chance that he can get rested because of the games coming thick and fast. I think Brendan Rodgers did kind of mention that in his press conference. If you're okay taking the risk, if you have Jamie Vardy in your team, he still could be a decent punt, but do make sure that you have a decent vice captain option there. Now talking about some more alternate choices in terms of captaincy, you can go for Diogo Jota as well. Now he's playing very well in the front three for Liverpool. He scored a brace last week. He definitely could have scored more. He's definitely the best player in terms of value in the league right now, guys. 7 goals this season, including 3 in the last 2 game weeks. So he's definitely in good form. He's also just owned by under 20% managers. So you are captaining a differential player, and I think that could give you massive rank gains. Now, a couple of other options include Reece James. Yes, it's a defender against Watford. It's a Chelsea defender, a Chelsea wing back, playing higher up the pitch. Now, personally, I won't be surprised if he gets benched this week. But because the ceiling is so high with James, guys, he automatically becomes a captaincy option this week. His numbers are really good. He has scored some great goals this season. We know that he can create chances playing in that right wing back spot. Now, against Man United, a very interesting observation was that when Alonso came off, he was shifted to the left wing back spot. I think he did pretty well there. All this tells me, guys, that he can be a great differential captain this week. He has the versatility and he can give you some decent FPL points. Now, our last option is a bit controversial, but Son could do very well against an average Brentford defense, guys. Still, Kane would be my preferred choice, but if you don't have Kane and if you want to captain a Spurs attacker against Brentford, Son could be the way to go. So, guys, these were our captain picks for this game week. Who are you captaining for Game Week 14? Do let me know in the comments below. So that'll be all from my side, guys. I really hope you'll find this video helpful in setting up your final teams for Game Week 14. Make sure you hit the like button if you liked our team selection video. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well if you want to follow our team throughout the season. We'll be back now for the deadline stream, guys. So do join us if you have any last minute questions or transfer queries. All the best to all FPL managers. Enjoy your week and I'll see you in Saners next time.